Here's an aircraft N275NV by Allegiant Air that makes mostly short-haul flights from and to its base in Orlando. So when it landed more than an hour behind schedule in Orlando, it was also late for its next flight in Cincinnati. The following flight to New Orleans also suffered a 20-minute delay. The airplane only managed to level out by the last flight of the day. Almost 19% of all flights in 2019 were delayed, and many of them didn't have a particular reason for that. They just got caught in a ripple effect. As with that plane going to Cincinnati, it had to wait because of the problem with the previous flight. If it was a connecting flight, they'd wait for passengers and luggage from a delayed flight. If a latecomer was occupying a runway, the flight had to wait for it to free up. So, instead of getting furious with cabin crew or lamenting about your airline's incompetence, let's consider why delays happen in the first place and what is already being done to handle them. How do airlines handle flight delays? First, the weather is not always willing to cooperate. Then, sometimes maintenance takes longer than it should. Same with cleaning and catering operations, called turnaround. Some delays happen due to staffing problems, when an aircrew member can't make it, so you need to call a standby. Vanished passengers are an issue too, as an aircraft will have to wait for them. Strikes are notorious for wrecking schedules. And of course, any suspicious occurrence at the airport can be a cause for extra time-consuming security precautions. One of the less obvious problems are congested skies, when air traffic controllers, or ATC, responsible for a particular segment or country are too overwhelmed to handle dozens of planes at the same time. Now, with all of these seemingly unpreventable factors, it may look like delays are beyond an airline's reach. Not exactly. Although airlines can't always avert delays, they can cushion the blow, saving their money and their passengers' time. So what is being done about the delay problem? One of the most basic solutions would be slot times. With more passengers opting to fly every year and airlines switching to smaller aircraft but more frequent flights, airports end up being jam-packed. They can't fit and manage all the flights. That's why IATA introduced slots. The slot is a time window within which an aircraft can land or take off. If for any reason a plane misses its slot time, air traffic control puts its departure or arrival on hold to prevent other planes from a delay. And an aircraft crew that missed their slot tried to board all passengers beforehand and then wait to get another slot from traffic control ASAP. The fully loaded plane can be stuck in a parking spot or circling in the sky until the runway is cleared. Today, slot allocation rules can cause problems. Carriers purchase slot times for millions of dollars from airports and must use them at least 80% of the time. Otherwise, the airline risks losing their slot to a competitor. There are constant battles over available slots in the major airports. Some airlines operate near-empty flights not to lose hold on their slots. During the coronavirus outbreak, these ghost flights became so widespread that the EU regulators and FAA had to put the 80% rule on hold. Another problem is that smaller carriers have a hard time entering a big market unless they manage to acquire slots. Even if a slot is ready, how do you address weather disruptions? Oftentimes, the weather isn't perfect, but is still acceptable for flying. There's no need to delay all flights, but their frequency must be reduced, not to overload ATC. So airlines use computer algorithms built upon weather forecasts and ATC advisories to decide which flights are doomed to be held up. They also consider how many valued passengers are on the flight or if there are any important plans at stake. Once airlines cross off some flights, they try to rebook the left-out passengers on other departures. But some things have to be sacrificed for the flight to be on time. By reducing or eliminating the cleanup time, airlines gain leeway to get back on track. Budget airlines that operate on short-haul flights and have about 30 minutes for a turnaround often skip cleaning before the takeoff, but they make up for the lack of tidying throughout the day by deep cleaning at night. Combating the ripple effect, airlines often give up waiting for their crews that are held up in delayed flights. Instead, they staff aircraft all over again. With crew management and planning tools, airlines automate schedule rotations instantly, assembling the available crew members and notifying them about the change of plans. This saves a great deal of time that would be wasted if manual rescheduling was used. Airlines can even mitigate delays caused by congested skies and overwhelmed traffic controllers if they reroute the aircraft bypassing the constrained area. It's a tough decision to make, as a detour will most likely consume more fuel and overflight costs. Passengers will still arrive late, but it will be much less of a delay than if they were waiting for approval to fly through the congested area. Finally, some airlines decide to mitigate risks by including delays in their flight times. This trick is known as padding. They add extra time to their flights to be on the safe side should any of their operations let them down. That's how they create an illusion of punctuality when you depart late but still arrive on time. Passengers stay satisfied, a plane doesn't lose its slot, and airlines avoid any compensation costs. This, of course, can be very misleading. Hong Kong Airlines made headlines last year when it was crowned the world's most punctual airline. The data later revealed that over the years, they increased flight times on several routes instead of implementing any operational improvements, which is kind of a trend in the industry. Today, airlines are getting more skillful at reducing the aftermaths instead of eliminating delays in the first place. But is it even possible, considering all the casual factors involved? Computers and algorithms might be the answer. AI and machine learning are usually better than humans at finding interdependencies, considering multiple factors, and ultimately predicting the future. If we can now use AI to start predicting when that first domino is going to fall, we can change the way the air traffic ecosystem works. Hamza Balakrishna, professor of aeronautics and astronautics at MIT and former NASA researcher, believes that the best way to reduce delays is to fight them at their origin, weakening the ripple effect. And AI has the best shot at it.